All right, and welcome to week 6 of media management. Things are going very well. I've enjoyed reading your work. I got the comments from you as far as who you want to interview for your midterm project and your article reviews. For most of you, I got that. If you haven't sent it to me, please do so. That's my way of helping keep you on track. It's not an assignment, so you're not going to be docked if you don't do it. But it helps us to make sure that we're moving forward, we're moving in the right direction. Remember, you're interviewing 3 people. So some of you sent me 1 person, which is all I asked for. You sent me 5 questions, again, which is all I asked for. But do remember, you're interviewing 3 people, 10 questions, okay? All 3 people get the same 10 questions. And then on the last part of it, last page and a half, I want you to synthesize what did you learn from these individuals? Did they all come from different backgrounds? Were there similarities? It's a way for you to make some connections and a way for you to kind of get an idea of how people that are in the industry you want to get into, how they got there. So, and that being said, I think it was a good time for this because I read your chapter summaries from the last chapter dealing with workforce, and I think it's time for a little bit of a pep talk. Many of you wrote that you were kind of discouraged after reading the chapter because you saw how the media industry has changed and how there aren't as many jobs. In some ways, that is true. There aren't as many of the traditional media jobs that we think of. But there are different jobs, and places have gone in different directions. I looked up the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and found some information for you that I want to share. Announcers. We think about DJs, radio DJs, MCs, sports announcers. They are predicting an 11% decline from 2014 to 2024. So they're expecting 11% fewer jobs in that area. Broadcast and sound engineers, they're looking at a 7% increase. Print copy editors, a 5% decline because of the internet, because not as many print publications. Film and video editors, 11% increase. PR specialists, 6% increase. Strictly reporters and correspondents, a 9% decrease. Technical writers, 10% increase. Those are the writers who can write about specific areas, engineering, computer software. I have a friend that's a PR specialist in Sedalia, and he had talked to me before I started teaching about writing for him because I had a sports background and they were getting involved in shooting sports, skeet shooting, competition shooting, those types of things, so that I could learn more about that and learn the technical side to write for brochures and things. Writers and authors, 2% increase. Social media specialists, they didn't have a percentage increase, but they said those jobs were on the rise because people want social media. So the thing is, you're seeing in some of these jobs a decrease. Announcers, DJs, what we probably grew up with those radio announcers. Reporters and correspondents, a 9% decrease. But the thing is, those positions are still available. They're just shifting a little bit. I'm talking to a lot of professionals, and they're telling us that traditional reporters, people to go out and just cover the story, not as many of those because they want people who can take the camera and do the editing as well. That's part of the beauty of our program, that we teach students how to be talent and how to be producers. So you could be a multimedia journalist, do your own camera work and be on camera. Those jobs are on the rise. For people who want to be announcers, who want to work at radio stations. We're in Warrensburg, Missouri, town of 16,000. Clinton, down the road, has KDKD, and they have their sister stations. Town Square Media in Sedalia, 2,100 or 21,000 people in Sedalia. Small town radio stations, but they are all doing a lot more online with video, with photography, with writing. So there's lots of positions there that go to work at a radio station, but you still get to use your video skills. The more tools you have in your tool bag, the more employable you are. The Sedalia Democrat, my hometown paper where I got my background and my training, they had a job announcement out last year, and they said writing skills a plus. Now think about that. That's a newspaper, and they said writing skills a plus. Why? Because they were looking for somebody to do social media and to do video on their website. So they wanted somebody who could have multimedia skills. So the more skills you have, the better off you're going to be. And that's what we're training you to do here at the university. Okay? Part of it is going to require that you have a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit and you learn to innovate. And how can you make yourself more marketable? And what additional skills can you bring to the table? And coincidentally, this week, that's our subject, entrepreneurship and innovation. Two very interesting topics. I had a whole class when I was working on my PhD on the diffusion of innovation and how you get innovative ideas to work and become part of the culture, part of the workplace. Those will be very interesting chapters for you to dig into. I think you'll enjoy them. But do keep in mind that your future may, and it goes along with what we talked about in the workforce, it may require that you be a little entrepreneurial, and you may need to go out and be a freelancer, which for some of you is great. You get to set your own hours, you get to pick your own jobs. You just have to know a little bit about finances, because you're going to have to do your financing yourself. You're going to have to think about taxes, because if you're in business for yourself, you're going to have to do that. If you have to subcontract or things like that with other people, that might be something you need to talk about. But we have a couple of individuals on our professional advisory board who have their own companies that hire freelance, and they do their own freelance work. Very, very successful. So if you have that entrepreneur spirit, if you want to go out and do things on your own, take your own challenges, nothing wrong with that. Me would not be comfortable with that. But for some people, that works out great. Okay. You also may need to be entrepreneurial or innovative in thinking that, I'm going to get a degree and I want to be a television reporter, and you can't find a television job. Well, guess what? There are a lot of companies that do their own television work. The university here just hired its second multimedia reporter, and they do the commercials for the university. They do training videos for the university. We had a professional last week on our career fair that they run their own television station through their organization, because they do basically a newsletter in television format. So there are jobs available. Do not get discouraged. You're doing the right things. You're getting your education. Those of you working on your master's degree makes you eminently more employable. Those of you working on your bachelor's, you might think about going for that master's degree afterward. Just get involved. Get plugged into the university if you're here on campus, and get involved with KMOS. Get involved with The Beat, our new online radio station. Work with the Mule Skinner. Build those skills. Build your toolbox. Okay? Be entrepreneurial. Be innovative. Be marketable. Have a great week.